On February 13th, 2017, two best friends, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German, set out to hike on the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi, Indiana. The girls were enjoying a day off from school, exploring the scenic trail. They were dropped off around 1:35 p.m., and around 2 p.m., Libby posted a photo of the bridge on Snapchat and one of Abby, her friend, walking across the historic bridge. The Snapchat post was the last correspondence from either of them. Hours passed and nobody could get in contact with the girls. They were supposed to be picked up by Libby's dad around 3 p.m. They never showed up, and the police began searching for them around 5:30 p.m. They searched through the night with a ton of volunteers. So it became like a really big thing in the town of like, hey, we need volunteers to look for these girls because it's such a small town. It's kind of like word goes fast.
And it just went completely. Was that park like really big? I'm assuming it's like really big.
It's like a historic trail it's a trail. We've been to trails before where you go, you walk around. It's a route that you go through. And then, you end up in
but I mean like the
town.
park that the trail is in, it must be huge. Because we've also been to really small trails where like, if theoretically somebody went missing in the trail, like if they were still there, you'd be able to find them within like 2 hours.
That's true, but you also got to remember the trail is part of the town, so there's parts of the trail
that lead off into towns
into different
and
parts of the
backyards
town and different parts of the backyard, and we'll cover a part of that later. You'll see. People began to theorize that they might have fallen off a bridge, like off that bridge that they took a picture, and people say, hey, maybe one of them fell off the bridge and the other one followed and ended up falling too. Or a lot of people were like, the cops were saying, hey, maybe they just ran away. And the search ended up halting for the night because it was too late. The next day, February 14th, police found two bodies. They did not identify the bodies, but the bodies were a mile east of the town. A few hours later, they actually identified the bodies. But the town knew like, hey, it's them. Because the town is so small, people don't really go missing like that. So
yeah, no one else is really missing besides these two girls, and it's two girls.
And it's two girls, right? You found two bodies. So people were like, yeah, it's them.
The condition of these bodies must have not been normal then.
Oh, no, it wasn't. So their bodies were found next to a creek called Deer Creek. Libby had her throat cut, and it was believed that she was dragged by her arm to the spot where her body was found in. Abby also had her throat cut, but her hands suggest that she was restrained or unconscious when she died. Abby was believed to have died on the same spot she was found in.
And they found this still on the trail, huh?
They found it off the trail. So they found it right off the trail, right after the bridge that they were in the photos.
So not far from where the photos were taken?
Not far from where the photos were taken.
Okay.
So on February 15th, the police released a picture of a man on the same bridge that Abby and Libby were walking through. No one knew where the picture came from. But later we found out that the picture came from Libby's phone. Libby had recorded him while they were walking through the trail. And part of the footage that Libby recorded was you heard the man telling them to go down the hill. You don't really see him. The only thing you see before you hear the voice is the guy walking behind them. Then you see them kind of being like, is he still there? Between each other, like very like low-key whispery. And then you hear them like kind of like going down, like kind of like exploring, trying to like get away from him. And then next thing you know is you hear him saying, go down the hill. It's very creepy because that's all the information that came out for the case for a long time. This happened in 2017. In July 2017, the police released a composite sketch where they described him to be between 5'6" and 5'10", between 180 to 220 pounds, with reddish or brownish hair.
Then that was it?
That was it. Only thing we know is that Libby's friends were kind of like trying to figure out who this man was because they knew that Libby was kind of like on the internet talking to people, like random people.